I'm going to pick up where most experts drop the ball, and that's body movement. Our movement has a direct bearing on how our bodies are shaped, how our brains evolve, and how our cells function. And most people, they have very little idea of how movement works in our bodies, or how much movement we need for natural biological function. Movement is an essential nutrient next to oxygen for Homo sapiens, as it creates a unique opportunity to both heal and maintain a level of biological function. We have archaeological studies from our footprints of our ancestors to ancient DNA samples that have proven this. Living here in the dunes makes me think of the Potawatomi Indians. You know, archaeologists say they migrated south from Canada about 1,000 years ago. And their migration pathways, well, they would have reflected most indigenous of that time, or 8 to 10 miles of hiking. In other words, we know from the lifeways of our ancestors, as well as modern science, that our movement stimulates all of our life expression in human beings, whereas just 5 hours of sitting increases the risk of death by 40%. In fact, research has shown that if we stop movement, the brain would depreciate into comatose. So what did recent science find about movement that is so extraordinary to me? Yes, there are the evidence-based ways to treat sickness and disease with palliative care, or to cover up the problem, a pill for an ill, the blame it, name it, tame it with a drug approach. But the problem is with these drug solutions, they're limited in scope, and they can come with harmful consequences. It's a big reason adding a chiropractic perspective in healthcare was necessary, in addition to making spinal postural adjustments, which introduce a variety of new body loads and require different muscles to work by the activation of these specialized sensors in the body called mechanoreceptors, which are found all throughout the body. Like most animals, they're heavily loaded along our spine, our backbone. By their name, mechano, having to do with mechanical or movement stimulation to the body. It's responsible for 80% of the baseline input or stimulation into the central nervous system, mostly your brain and your spinal cord. In fact, every cell in your body has mechanical equipment just to sense the cell. In other words, how often and well you move sends electrical nerve input to every cell, tissue, and organ, even your DNA. The normal everyday movement of our backbone is loaded with these nerve sensors. So take some advice from the Potawatomi Indians who first migrated here 1,000 years ago. In a world where a new disease was coined, they call it sitting disease, an epidemic that has inspired offices worldwide to get you up and moving out of your chairs. So how do we get ahead of the pack? Move all day long and take great care of your spinal health, making sure a chiropractor assesses every segment of your spine so it has the proper mechanical stimulation or range of motion it needs, so your brain and your body can work better, so you work better.